Hey YouTube, Hambo here back at the table with another edition of Uncle Ham's Discoveries, or How Not to Choke Your Chicken. Oh, God, Fred's been driving me crazy. People have been asking me about Fred. Take a good look. They've been asking me, what's up with Fred? Well, it's very simple. Fred and I have been together a long time. Way back in 1992, Fred dropped acid. And he's been like this ever since. It's like a beautiful dream, isn't it, Fred? Yeah. One of these days he's going to wake up and realize he hasn't been paid since 1994. But that's okay. We love Fred, and apparently a lot of you do too. So Fred's in. Anyway, I thank you for all the great response on the first aid giveaway that we're running right now. Remember, you have until midnight Tuesday to let me know what your first aid needs and or solutions are, and we will make the decision accordingly. Also, we've got another one coming up as soon as the first aid one is done, and this one is to say thank you to all of you, and you know who you are. According to the counter, we have over 100 subscribers. How about that, Fred? Fred. Well, I'm sure if Fred was here, he would he would appreciate it. I certainly do. Thank you to all of you, and we're going to pay off in a big way. Stay tuned, because that giveaway will be coming right around this time next week. And I think you all are going to enjoy it. But anyway, our topic for today is waterproofing. Some of you may carry bags, backpacks, fanny packs. You may have boxes in your car, in your personal vehicle, motorcycles, whatever, where you keep your EDC gear. If you live anywhere in North America, you're going to have to deal with rain. We've had some pretty hellacious storms so far this season, and it's far from over. But if you're out and about in it, for whatever reason, school, work, maybe you're a responder, things can get real wet real quick, and that can be real nasty. So over time, I've found a couple of things that really work, and today we're actually going to do a little bit of an immersion test to try some of these different things and see how well they actually do waterproof your gear. First and foremost, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can buy boxes, fold-over bags, dry bags, they're called, fancy military containers, or you can have a chicken that doesn't realize that he has a built-in waterproof storage compartment. Fred's come in handy a number of times, and we're not going to go into that. But anyway, this is still one of the best and least expensive ways. Now, there's a napkin in there for a reason. I'm using this as part of the immersion test. We're actually putting clean paper napkins in these things and sealing them and then dunking them in a 5-gallon bucket of water. And if there's any leakage, we'll see. Ziploc bag. The good ones, not the cheapies. The new ones from Ziploc that have the multicolored seal hold very, very well. They're inexpensive. They've got this great stripe that you can write on for content. It's clear. You can see what's in there. And this stuff has protected literally thousands of dollars worth of gear. It's quick, it's simple, it's effective. And frankly, if that's all that matters to you, stop the video right now, because this is your solution. They come in various sizes. You can roll them up. They will last literally for years, and they'll do the good job. But, of course, if you're a gearhead, a simple solution is never enough. So, there are different types of bags. This is something that is sold for electronics in marine stores. This is by a company called Coghlan's, and it's a different form of fold-over bag. Now, I have to repack this because when I was packing it for the immersion test, I had wiped out the inside of this because it was dusty and got a little moisture in it. So, in order to be fair, we're going to pull that out and get a new bag. But a fold-over bag is just that. It is a heavy-duty vinyl usually at least translucent, if not clear bag, that has a top with no Ziploc. And what you do is, to make it watertight, you fold it over 2 to maybe 3 times, and then it will secure in various ways, and that will keep your gear dry. Like I said, the residue is still wetting the napkin, but we'll dunk this too, and you'll see how that works. These are a little bit more expensive. These can run anywhere from $5 to $15 depending on the size. They're very adequate. They're good for inside a bag, inside a pouch, and they will keep your stuff dry. But in reality, these only offer one thing that the Ziploc does not, and that's the fact that a Ziploc will tear in a lot of circumstances, and you may not know it until it's too late. Whereas the thicker bags, like the ones you buy at marine stores, the dry bags, are made out of a little bit denser material, and they're a little bit more resistant to puncture and the swipe rip or something if there is a sharp or just protruding edge on something. So there's that. There's all kinds of pouches. Now this is actually sold at one of the big box stores. Okay, Walmart. It's by their outdoor products, and this is the other type of dry pouch you'll see. Now this is actually designed with a neck lanyard, so you could wear it around your neck if you had to show an ID in the rain or something like that. So if you're a responder or if you work and you have IDs to show, this actually is a good solution. But a lot of the dry bags will work like this. You'll have the top that rolls down 2 or 3 times, and then you just fold it over and secure it with a compression clip, a buckle. Okay, and what that buckle does is it keeps the ends together and keeps it from unraveling as it goes in. And we've also got one of these. Now this is going to be the real test, because as you will see, I have one of these that I've had in a pack for a year now that has a digital volt-ohm meter in it. And I'm actually going to dunk the VOM bag, and we're going to see how this works. Now, evidently, I haven't been in any real big immersion things in real life, so this is going to be an education as much for me as it will be for everybody else. Now, if you've got something that needs to be a little bit more protected, the soft bags may not be what you're looking for. We have some other solutions in a harder shell case. Now, again, at the box stores, that same outdoor products line produces a line of clear, heavy-duty plastic waterproof boxes, and you can tell they're in a couple of reasons. First of all, they have these very, very thick, soft rubber grommets all the way around, and they fit very tightly. Now here's how you can judge if there's a good seal. You see, in normal rest, it doesn't quite close. There's that gap right there. When you secure it with the clip, watch the edge. See how that pulled down? Now this thing is tight. They advertise this as a cell phone case. Well, I'm not going to risk my cell phone, but we will put paper napkins in this and the other containers to see how they do in the dunk test. So you've got smaller sizes. I actually use this, as you can see, for batteries. And they hold AA's and AAA's and 9 volts very well, and it's thin enough that it can be secured in a bag without any real big problem. So that's one issue. And of course, if you need something a little bigger, they do make dry boxes in 2 sizes, medium and large, this being the small, of course. I don't have a large one empty that I can show you right now. This is a medium. Again, you want to look for the soft rubber gasket. You do not want a hard rubber gasket for a reason. You want this to compress. You want the edge of the main body to compress against the gasket. That forms that seal under pressure. The tension of the clips keeps the plastic edge pushed into the soft rubber gasket, and that gives you your seal. A hard rubber gasket can gap, it can fall out of the alignment groove where it sits normally, and it can cause you problems. A soft rubber gasket will last a very long time with very minimal maintenance. All you ever want to do with these is keep them clean and oil and dust free, and you can do that with a damp cloth. That's all you need. And it will last you for a very long time. And again, these are designed so that they don't close tight by themselves. Again, watch the gap. See the gap there? We take the clip, we secure it, watch the gap. Hopefully you can see that. Watch it pull down. if I can do this while looking through the camera. Okay. See how the gap closed? This is a tight seal. That soft rubber gasket has conformed to the edge, pushing up into it, and that creates a double barrier that water and mostly air will not get through. And these also have the ability on both these and the smaller one to attach a lanyard. They do come with a lanyard. I took them off because I didn't really need them in the application. But again, they make these in various colors, and we'll see how they do with the dunk test. We'll be putting a napkin in here too and dunking it in that 5-gallon can of water to see what happens. Now, there are some other alternatives, and I actually was familiar with these when I was in the military. And for those of you that ask, yes, we actually had motorized vehicles. They had gotten rid of all the horses by the time I was in the military. I was in the Air Force. Had to be at least 1910, guys. But these are originally containers for chemical exposure, exterior decontamination. In other words, if you were exposed to a chemical or caustic substance, a weapon substance or a caustic substance of any kind, these decon kits were designed to clean skin and external contact areas. Germicide wipes, chemical cleaning wipes. I believe these were M280s, if I'm not mistaken. The designator is different now. But they still sell these containers, but there's two generations. There's the old generation and the new one. And sadly, the new generation, I think, is much lighter in construction than the old one. I'll show you why. In the old construction, the container itself is the same. Okay? This is a hard plastic shell, one piece, no seams. It's just a big plastic cup. Okay? Now, the secret lies in the lid. This is a rubber lid. It's hard rubber. Again, what I said about the soft rubber, this is not quite hard enough to classify as really hard rubber, so it is soft, but it's stiffer than what was in that gasket in that other case. But this is a compression lid, and the compression is formed by this lip here fitting into the groove of the cap and snapping down tight. Now, with the rubber top, it literally squeezes around that lip and forms a very, very tight seal. I know this is tight because I used to use this to carry 9mm range loads when I was shooting a 9mm, but since I don't anymore, I cleaned it out and turned it into a pipe humidor. This usually carries my pipe tobacco on my pouch when I am smoking a pipe, and it keeps it extraordinarily fresh, which means there's a good seal on this. Now, we have this. And now we have the replacement that has been made in bulk just as a storage container. It's just a tiny bit smaller than the original case in depth. It's the same width, the same thickness, but where this one had the soft rubber case, this is harder plastic, and it does not fit well. I'm sorry to say. First of all, you'll notice that they put this hinge point in there that you're supposed to attach some sort of lanyard to. Well, in doing so, look what they did. That lid does not go all the way around. It stops right there. So you've got a weak spot right there for the compression lip to fit inside. So there is a potential leak right there. And secondly, where this closes very satisfactorily with a hard click as that lip snaps into that rubber, and you've really got to work to take it apart. This, yeah, but you'll notice right off the bat, see how that's uneven? It's resting higher because of that hinge. Even if you cut the hinge off, you still got that gap problem, because I've tried that. So I don't have a lot of high hopes for this. These are basically used around my shop to hold small hardware and things that I need to hang up out of the way. They do clip well if you've got external hooks. But thought we'd try an immersion test and show the old and the new and see which one works. So they'll each have a napkin in them, and they'll go into the water. And finally, just to show you, one thing we do use these new ones for, we use these for alert markers in the field. If we're doing a search and rescue and we need to either mark our trail or leave instructions or other material in a fairly weatherproof, not waterproof, but weatherproof container. We'll take one of these new ones, we put reflective tape around the outside, and then we can hang it by whatever means we have to, bungee cord, rubber cord, whatever, or tie it to a tree, to a signpost. But if someone's coming at night and needs to find out where you are, where you've been, and need more instructions and you're out of radio contact, headlights will light this up. It turns bright reflective white. It's hard not to notice it. And a flashlight, a car headlight, something hits it, they'll know that it's a marker, and we're trained to look for these, and we leave messages or other materials in these, or simply just mark the trail with them. And that's really the only good use I've found for these, other than keeping spare screws and nuts and washers. So let's go to the immersion test, and I'm still debating as to whether or not we should see how well chickens do as waterproof containers.